So next on the list of things to do on this is to sort out the speaker situation. At the start it was just a wee bit of a rasp that was coming from the speakers, and now it's just at any volume there's just a huge amount of distortion coming from them. I've done a bit of research online, checked about the speaker repair kits you can get, so that was the angle I was going to go down. Door cards came off, looked at them, and they look horrendous. It's the main 6x9s at the bottom, so they're just getting removed altogether, and I've got a new set of Pioneer 6x9s to go in. The issue being the ohm rating on them. The speakers in this are 8 ohm, and they're incredibly difficult to find 8 ohm speakers. So there's 4 ohm speakers will be going in. I'm also very aware the cars are 2003. The amplifier in it will be 18 years old. It's probably had a fair bit of abuse over the years, and I'm well aware that this potentially could cause issues and blow that amp. If that happens, then the full system will be getting replaced. So that's the job of set aside for today. It says I've already had these off, so I already know how to kind of go through all that. So I'll get that done and I'll do a wee video run round of that. The unit's pretty kind of packed today. I've got a nice Jaguar F-Pace in the now, and a rather expensive road bike, like pedal bike, over there. So it's the reason why the car's here and it's not up on the ramp under all the fancy lighting, but there's more than enough lighting to tackle this job. The speakers which I've chosen are Pioneer TS R6951S. I'm not going to get too concerned myself about like max wattage, RMS wattage, etc., because I'm fully expecting the next year or so to be fully replacing this sound system anyway. If I'm going to go down that route, I'll just get a full matching system done. I know my friend's a big fan of JBL stuff, so I'll probably just get all full matching JBL things. And again, the most important thing for me is everything looks factory. I don't want anything to stand out. I've also spoke with a chap about my alloys, so they're going to be getting repaired relatively soon. I just need to find a time when I can do, I can kind of squeeze it in and fit it in. You get tyres ordered for it as well. Other wee niggles and problems I've picked up and I've found out: the parking sensors, it's in reverse. They are now just running constant. The back parking sensors, a couple of them have got quite heavy surface oxidation on them, so I will get them removed. I'll wet sand down the centre section. I'll see what, basically, if that makes a difference, because I think it's just surface oxidation it's picking up and it's detecting that as something being there, and it's going back. If it's anything like MAR-X, it's based on a sonar system, so if there's any surface debris on it, that will detect it as an object being close by. There's also a switch, a non-factory switch, which I've no idea what it does. You turn it on and it beeps, and there's no visible things I can see in the car which it changes. So I'm going to have a wee dig about with that at some point, try and trace where that wiring goes, find out what it's for. If it's something the car doesn't need or that, I'll just remove all that. Or if it's something which is indeed would be useful and it's there and either the thing's broken or that, then we'll get that sorted. And I've also discovered when the car's parked nose pointing down an incline, when I'm going to start it, turning the key, there is zero power, like nothing. Popped the bonnet right away. I was like, right, this is a battery earth issue. It's obviously completely nothing, and going round, and the battery which the previous owner have put in the car, which is new, is the terminals are the wrong size. The actual it's the positive is making a connection when it's sitting line, but when it's sitting at an angle, it's basically just, so it's obviously tilting forward just a couple of wee degrees, and it's making a really weak connection. And the second you go round and literally just tip it a wee millimetre, it makes that connection and everything goes on. So I'm going to order post terminals to bring that battery terminal to the next size up, which will then means that battery clamp's going to be secured. I'm going to get on there, because the last thing I want is for that to happen, especially if once all this work's done. If my wife's out enjoying the car, I don't want her to get in and then it's not starting. It's just going to sever the experience of enjoying the summer project car. There's no other kind of niggles that I've found along the way. It's now, this is kind of weird, I'm measuring the progress and how many tanks of fuel I've in. This is now 1.5 tanks, so I think in total I've done about 350 miles or so in it, and I'm absolutely overjoyed. There's, apart from the things which I've mentioned beforehand, I'm really enjoying having it. It's certainly good fun, and I just can't wait to put my touch on the car and do what I do best on it. For those who are following, who know my previous work, then obviously you know, but those who are following from the Lexus forums, certainly go and have a look at the stuff I do, and it'll give you an idea how this car's going to look when I basically get my hands on it and do what I do best. This is why I'm really anxious to get it on there, because I want this car to look absolutely jaw-dropping, while that thing looks as if it's just rocked off a production line, which is the end goal. But yeah, there's no other oh sorry, I'm telling a lie, there's a wee bubble just on the kind of vinyl section on there. So I need to, all the syringe needles I've got, the needle end is a bit too big. I use it for mixing chemicals and stuff, so I need to get a really fine needle point. So I'll pierce it, let that air bubble that's trapped in there out, and then using that same hole I'll inject a little bit of glue, and then kind of push that section down and get that all nice and flattened again. There's a wee mark as well on this leather. It looks as if it's a stud from a pair of jeans, which is there, so I'm going to do a leather restoration on that. And yeah, there's nothing else in the meantime that's jumped out at me. So yeah, I'm going to get cracked on, get this card off and get the new speakers in. Okay, so I'm going to take the driver's side door card off. The passenger one is already off. That's the one that was taken off previously. I had one look at the speaker and was like, that ain't being repaired. So the coming off last time on that side was really easy. Taking off a second time, along the top, really difficult to actually lift the door card off. Let's see, so you've got two screws, so you've got on this section, and you're looking for, it's not a Phillips or a posi, sorry, it's not a posi drive, it's a Phillips head you're looking for to take these sections off. There's another three underneath there. The three under ones as well, from memory, are bolt heads as well, so if you prefer using kind of bolt heads, you can do that. So it's underneath the kind of weather seal on the top section, and they're not on very tight at all. There'd be no issue to use your hands. I'm just using the drill just to make it a bit easier and a bit quicker. So get these three ones off, and then you've got another one which is just tucked away under there, and again it's exactly the same. It's a Phillips, and then get that one off. They're stuck in the last thread section, and then sorry, I've got one of these wee wireless mic things. I just picked it up a couple of weeks ago, and I keep on going to turn around to look at the camera to talk, because that's where my old directional mic was. Forgetting I've got one on my, attached to my top now. There we go. That's actually completely loose from the thread, so when I lift that up, that will fall off. Now, in at this section in here, there's two wee studs. So what to do is just take the end of the screwdriver and push them in. You don't need to put a whole load of pressure, literally just a wee click in, and that will release that. And if you give it a wee jiggle, you can just take them right out. You don't need to be overly zealous with these and overly push into them, because they will snap. But again, that's the second time I've taken that door panel off, and there's been no issues with the wee sections over there. So the next section is just this, and it's just the plastic, so forget about that rubber bit. It's this plastic, and you're wanting to try and release it from the side which is closest to the A-pillar. So in there, and just gently bring it out, very gently, because there's a wee on this, and there we go, that's it. So that gives you an idea there. So from there, just start to prise it very gently, and then it just releases and pulls away. Next one is in here. Now, the 2 times I've taken that one off, this has been a bit of a pain to get to and to remove. And on the 2 occasions, it's flew off and hit me in the head. So it does seem a bit violent to take this one off. You're best to shut the door or shut the lock over and then get in. Again, these tools are meant for this kind of stuff. It's really soft plastic. There we go. So in from the top section along there, and then just gently a bit of pressure, and then it does ping off. It's just 2 compression kind of points on the either side of that, which hold that bit on, and then that uncovers another screw in there. So we'll take that one off, and then be mindful not to hit the chrome or that section. And then lastly is this centre, the control kind of section on there. I've seen some folk from the forums complaining that when they've tried to pull this one off, they've actually snapped it. What I've found is if you go in from this section, and again using trim removal tools, don't use a screwdriver, because screwdrivers put all the force in a tiny wee point, and they obviously tend to be completely rigid, whereas these have give on them, and they've also got a much wider area where that force is spread across. So what you're looking to do is get in at that section and then just feed them along one wee bit at a time until you get to this end section. Now that should release that side one, which it just has. So that's that point released, and then there's one down at the bottom which you actually need to push in to release. So I'll just change my seating angle so I can see it. So down at the bottom bit, and you're just looking to push that one in and release it. And again, you're not looking to put a huge amount of pressure and then do what I've just done, which is snap the blooming thing. Oh well, there we go, that'll need replaced. So that was so little pressure with this this tool. This actually looks as if it's been glued in, this side. Yeah, it's been somebody siliconed this. So I'm guessing it's had issues in the past, and that ain't coming off easily. Yeah, so that whole thing's going to need replaced. So yeah, that's been glued or siliconed in at that bottom bit. For the life of me, I don't know why, but hey ho, yeah, the clip's broke, that's why. So yeah, oh well, these things happen. That's the fun and games of a project car, and of course the risk you take when you're working on cars. But and then that gives you access to that last screw. There we go. So for now, you want to get in at this section, just along there, run your fingers all the way along, and then release that clip as well. Don't just grab and pull, a wee gentle pull out there and run it along till you start to feel a wee bit of resistance, and then just run your hand up, and just that additional kind of width of your fingers being there should release that wee clip. Again, I've been able to take that one off and I've not broken any of the clips yet. So for this point, we then wee bit of kind of angle outwards and then start to lift it up. And that's exactly what happened with the last one. You not want to angle it out too much, because then you risk kind of breaking the wee slots that go in there. So just a tiny wee angle out and then a lift upwards. There we go. And then again, just be careful at that side, because the tweeter pops out from there and you're not wanting to kind of damage your tweeter. So from there you need to have a wee peek in, and there's a wee blue sorry, it's white on this side, which is for those controls. And then if you swivel it round like that, sorry, other way, you should be able to rest that down flat. And then if you want, you can put something on there to kind of balance that, but it's an even surface, it's not going to go anywhere. And I'm also just going to take this off while I'm at it and replace the bulb in that for an LED. So just make sure that's balanced on fine. So there's a speaker, and as you can see, that foam is completely perished. So again, it's just start. And then before I take the last one off, just undo the connector, which is a wee tab left hand side, and then just pull it upwards. There we go. And there's a wee plastic tab which covers this one, and it's actually attached onto the speaker, so you can slide all that up, and then we'll just re-secure that when we're putting it back on. And then this is just the last bolt, and then a wee gentle pull towards you should break the seal, and voila, one speaker. Well, as you can see, here are the speakers, passenger side and driver side. The passenger one is worse for wear. There's a huge amount of stuff missing from it, and I'm not even going to attempt a repair on them. I also went straight onto eBay to get a replacement section for this. However, they only have the ivory colour available. So I have found the sections of it that were broken. I've glued from the bottom down so the glue lines aren't there. I'll get a mix. Once this is all hardened, I'll glue that section at the top. I'll sand it down so it's flush, and I'll basically kind of paint this section over with a matching paint on it. That's rather annoying that I can't get another section of this, but it's to be expected. It's a pretty rare car in the UK. So I'll keep my eyes open for another one that just appears, but that's kind of semi-rigid already. The kind of shininess just needs kind of scuffed away. So one of the wee side jobs I'm going to do is just going to change these over. So again, try not to break any more clips. Okay, so here we are now with the actual speakers themselves. From this point on, everything's all new to me as well, so might be a wee bit of head scratching, but such as the way things are when you work with cars. So these are the Torx. So yeah, looking at T20, yep, and those 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 securing on. And I kind of hope that the existing speakers bracket works nice with the new ones. If not, then I'm very lucky to have a rather spectacular carpenter who works in one of the units just a few down from me. Very nice chap, and I'm fairly sure I can go up with my measurements and he'll make them up for me. So try to see what these are secured on with. Chances are these are all glued round as well. Do it on the other side. I'm hoping these aren't all in the one. They certainly don't look it. Might just need prized a wee touch. Just along the seams, but yeah, you can see why they were. Yeah, I think they just need a wee shove from the other side. There we go. And there we go. So we'll just remove all the old silicone adhesive, and there we have one nice speaker bracket. So there we go, that's speaker bracket. Will obviously give us a wee clean up. Okay, so here we have obviously the new speakers and the old speakers. They're the exact same depth from the base of the driver up to the lip of it, and the mounting points are exactly the same, thankfully. This is a centimetre higher at this centre point. However, on the door speakers it does bulge out on the actual bit, so this should not make contact. But I'm going to put these up to this. I'm going to offer them up to it, obviously using the original, the kind of speaker covers on there, which will also absorb any kind of sound from the door in contact with this. So we'll screw these on and I'll go over, and first and foremost I'll make sure the door actually fits over the speakers without fouling this section. So I'll go ahead and I'll do that now. So it's time just to put everything back together again. It's exactly the same as obviously the taking everything apart but reversed. So just going to kick off with the speakers. So you've got the golden screws for the speakers, there's 4 of them. So remember, the grey section goes at the top with that at the right hand side, just to make the change between the left and the right speakers. So just done like that, and then just put one up a couple of turns so it grips in, and then fasten up with a screwdriver. Kind of loom along it, and so all I'm going to do is just fold that back inside it. So there we go, that's that, and then plug the speaker cable in, and then I shall give it a go. Yeah, there we go. That's so rear, changing that to the front, and balance to the right. There we go. There we go. That is working perfectly, exactly as expected. A wee bit of I think it's 21 pilots on the go there, so hopefully YouTube doesn't pick that up in the background and then you end up getting the message coming through that you've infringed copyright, etc, etc, and then end up putting up there your wee filming program. So that bottom section, change that one to the LED as you know. These 2 ones that are hanging down, try and make sure they don't get snagged up top like that. Leave them hanging down and you'll be able to reach them through that panel because they're for your window controls. So you're just looking to switch that round like that, and then again have a wee peek in, and you should see a white cable. There is 4 attachment points in it, and those ones go in, and that's for your top section. So what you want to do is get these balanced in.
Drop.
And in line there, ideal. So what we're going to do is put the screw hidden behind the door handle in first. So it's the circular one with no washer, and there's only one of this type. So I'll get this one on. There we go, that's that one. And then looking for, there's 2 of these ones. It's the big ones with the washer, which goes in where the control switches are. And try and hold on to this one as you put it in, because if it falls down, it's the door card coming back off again to find it. So that's that one in. Then the second of the big ones goes in just underneath here. And then the one with the huge big rubber grommet on the end of it, which is to cushion there from door blows, goes into where this yellow one is. So it's the top one at the outer edge of the door. And again, try not to over tighten this one because you risk busting clean through the rubber grommet. The next one we have is this. The screw goes at the bottom end of it, and then just line it up, and then you should be left with 3 screws left. These 3 go on the bottom. So you're best having a wee lie down so you can see them better. There we go, that's the last screw in, and we should be left with just 2 wee pop plastic rivets, which are these things. So get them lined up, and you're looking to push the inside of it. So push the I should say you're wanting to push that outside bit in to get it, and then when you push that in, it splays out these wee ends. So don't push it in from the middle, push it in from the outside section. And then in at the middle, nice wee satisfying click. So what we've got is these bits, and they just push in. That sounds horrible. Yeah, it's definitely the right way. So in from kind of that side first, and then a shove in. Yeah, there we go, that was it. There we go, that's us. So as long as you get that top bit in first, those 2 ones are kind of, they lock from the ends. Whereas that one, if you push in from that side, you'll risk kind of snapping that one. Don't be wrong, they're all old, brittle bits of plastic. So they all risk snapping, but that one's less likely to snap if you put that one in first. And then just the tweeter cover. Again, just the reverse of the fitting of it. So and there we go, that's the tweeter cover. And absolutely solid. So I'll go and I'll check to make sure the glue's set on that bit. If it is, I'll clean over the top section with glue remover to get rid of the kind of shiny, the shininess of it, and then I shall reapply that.